The night is already here, not suddenly, not loudly. It arrives the way breath slows, when the body knows it is finally safe to rest. There is nothing you need to do, nothing you need to achieve. You may already be lying down or gently settling into stillness. Let your body choose its most comfortable position, a position that does not require effort, a position that allows gravity to do the work for you. The weight of your head is supported. Your shoulders no longer need to hold themselves up. Your arms rest where they naturally fall. Your legs are allowed to be heavy. If there is any tension left, it does not need to disappear. It only needs permission to soften a little. The room around you is growing quieter. Sounds do not vanish. They simply step back, distant, unimportant. Light fades into a darker, gentler shade. Edges blur. The world outside is slowing its movements, as if it too is preparing for sleep. Breathing becomes easier when nothing is expected from it. Air moves in, air moves out. No rhythm to follow, no pattern to remember, just movement. Tonight, you are not here to listen carefully. You are not here to understand. You are not here to remember names, facts, or stories. If your attention drifts, that is exactly where it should go. If thoughts appear, let them pass, like clouds crossing a dark sky. They do not need answers. They do not need resolution. This is not a space for effort. It is a space for release. As the night deepens, we begin a very slow journey. Not a journey of distance, but of quiet. A journey into the gentle world of birds as they prepare for sleep. Birds live their lives, tuned closely to light and darkness. When the sun lowers, their bodies understand. Wings fold, songs fade, energy is gathered inward. Across forests, wetlands, mountains, and open skies, countless small lives are settling into rest. Some birds sleep alone. Some gather together, close enough to share warmth. Some drift lightly on water, rocked by invisible currents. Others cling to branches, their bodies balanced by instinct older than thought. Each one has its own way of letting go of the day. And tonight, you are invited to rest alongside them. There is nothing symbolic you need to understand here. No hidden meaning to uncover. These are simply stories that move slowly enough to carry you toward sleep. We will speak of birds, their nights, their quiet rhythms, and the soft intelligence of their resting bodies. The words are not important. The images do not need to stay. You do not need to follow from beginning to end. You may drift in and out. You may hear only fragments. That is enough. As this journey continues, each story will flow gently into the next, without sharp edges, without sudden turns, like the night itself, unfolding without asking permission. And as you listen, your body may begin to mirror what it hears. Breath slowing, muscles loosening, awareness becoming softer, wider, less defined. There is nowhere else you need to be. This moment is sufficient. This quiet is allowed. And now, as the first stories begin to take shape, you are free to let go a little more. The birds are settling. The night is holding them. And you are held as well. As the night continues to deepen, our attention drifts closer to the ground, away from wide skies, away from distant forests, toward something small, something familiar. The sparrow. You have seen it many times, even if you never stopped to really look. It lives close to human life, between buildings, along narrow streets, in quiet gardens. During the day, it moves quickly, almost nervously. Short hops, sudden turns, a body designed to remain alert. But night changes even the smallest birds. As darkness settles, the sparrow searches for a place that feels hidden. A dense bush, a vine-covered fence, the shadow beneath a roof edge. Sometimes, a simple corner where the world does not reach. It does not need much space. It does not need silence. It only needs enough cover to feel unseen. The sparrow tucks itself inward. Feathers rise slightly, creating a layer of trapped warmth. Its head turns, beak resting gently against its own body. The movement is subtle, almost unnoticeable. Breathing becomes so quiet, it seems to disappear. Each breath is shallow, careful, efficient. Energy is preserved. Nothing is wasted. The sparrow does not fall into sleep the way humans do. It remains partially aware. A life shaped by vulnerability learns to rest without fully surrendering. And yet, there is still rest. Muscles soften. The rapid movements of the day slow into stillness. The tiny heart continues its steady rhythm, holding the night from the inside. In cold weather, sparrows often sleep together, bodies close, warmth shared. No hierarchy, no distance, just small lives, keeping one another alive until morning. There is something deeply gentle about this kind of sleep. Not dramatic, not deep, but sufficient, enough to continue. As you listen, you may notice how little is required for rest to begin. The sparrow does not seek perfect conditions. It does not wait for complete safety. It rests because it must, because life continues only when rest is allowed to happen in small ways. If your own sleep feels light, fragmented, unfinished, you are not failing. You are resting like the sparrow, taking what the night offers, holding warmth where you can, letting breath become quiet, letting the body choose. Stillness without force. The sparrow sleeps very close to the world, and still it sleeps. As this quiet presence fades into the background of the night, another bird waits nearby, different in shape, different in rhythm, but equally familiar. And the night continues to carry us forward As the night continues its gentle unfolding, movement becomes quieter, not gone, just softened. The sparrow's stillness lingers in the background, and from that quiet, another presence emerges, smaller in body, lighter in motion, the leaf warbler. During the day, this bird rarely rests. It moves from branch to branch, leaf to leaf, as if guided by an invisible thread, always searching, always adjusting. Its body is built for motion that never settles. Tiny feet grip briefly, then release. Wings flicker. Without fully opening, the leaf warbler lives within layers of green where light breaks into fragments and shadows are never still. It is a bird that belongs to movement, but even a life shaped by motion must eventually slow. As daylight fades, the warbler's path becomes shorter. Its movements lose urgency. The spaces between hops grow longer. Instinct begins to guide it downward, not toward the ground, but inward, into density, into cover. The leaf warbler does not seek open branches at night. It does not remain exposed to the sky. Instead, it disappears into foliage, deep within a cluster of leaves. Where stems cross and overlap, the bird finds a place that holds. Leaves fold around its body, breaking wind, softening sound, masking shape. Here, the world becomes close, contained. The warbler tucks itself between living surfaces. Its body aligns with the direction of the leaves, becoming part of the structure rather than resting upon it. Feathers settle, muscles release, their constant readiness. Breathing slows, not shallow, not deep, but balanced. The day has asked much of this small body. Now, the night gives back. Unlike birds that sleep in clear sight, the leaf warbler chooses invisibility. It sleeps inside complexity, inside layers. A life spent moving finds rest by blending in. There is no sharp edge between waking and sleep. Awareness dims gradually, like light filtering through leaves. At dusk, sounds reach the bird only after passing through many barriers. The world becomes muffled, gentle, safe enough. In this quiet enclosure, the heart continues its steady work. The body remains warm, protected not by distance, but by closeness. The leaf warbler does not sleep long. Its rest comes in intervals, woven through the night, moments of deeper stillness, followed by brief awareness, a rhythm shaped by vulnerability and adaptation. And still, it is rest, enough to allow another day of movement to exist. As you listen, you may notice how rest does not always mean complete stopping. Sometimes, rest means finding the right environment to soften within. The leaf warbler does not force its body to be still. It allows stillness to arrive. Once it is held, by the right surroundings. If your own mind feels active, full of small motions, unfinished loops, you do not need to push it into silence. You can let it settle among thoughts, the way this bird settles among leaves, protected, partially aware, resting enough. The leaf warbler sleeps inside the living world, not apart from it, and as it rests, another presence nearby begins its own preparation for the night, different again, with another way of letting the day come to a close, and the night, patient and unhurried, continues to guide us forward. As the night carries on, sound itself begins to change, not fading all at once, but rearranging. Some sounds withdraw, others sink beneath awareness. After the restless motion of leaves, after the soft concealment of green, the night introduces a bird defined not by movement, but by voice, the red-whiskered bulbul. By day, it is impossible to miss. Its call travels far, cutting through open space, crossing gardens, roads, and treetops. The song is confident, full, a declaration of presence. It sings from high branches, from visible places, as if the world were meant to hear it. Its voice shapes territory. It fills the air with rhythm and insistence. But night asks something different. As light disappears, the bulbul's voice does not soften. It stops completely. The bird that once defined itself through sound becomes silent, not cautious, not hesitant, simply silent. The red-whiskered bulbul chooses stillness through absence. It does not whisper. It does not murmur. It does not hum itself into sleep. Instead, it removes itself from the soundscape entirely. When darkness settles, the bulbul retreats into dense foliage, often high above the ground, a place where leaves are thick enough to block sight and branches form natural shelter. Its body aligns with the branch, balanced, contained. The crest lies flat. The chest no longer expands. With song, breathing becomes internal, almost invisible. For this bird, sleep is not gradual. It is decisive. The transition from day to night is marked by silence, a clear boundary. Where there was expression, now there is rest. Where there was sound, now there is only presence. The bulbul's nervous system settles quickly. Energy once spent on projection is redirected inward. The muscles that powered song release. The body enters a state of complete quiet. This kind of sleep is deep, protective, a silence that does not listen for interruption. Unlike birds that remain partially alert, the red-whiskered bulbul trusts the night. It gives itself fully to stillness. The world may continue to move below, but the bird remains untouched by it. In this silence, there is confidence, a knowing that rest does not require constant awareness, that safety can exist without vigilance. As you listen, you may feel how different this rest is from the birds before. This is not light sleep, not layered, not adaptive. It is a clean pause, a full stop. If your days are filled with expression, conversation, sound, and outward attention, this kind of silence may feel unfamiliar, but it is available. You do not need to carry your voice into the night. You do not need to keep explaining yourself to the dark. Like the bulbul, you can set sound down. Let quiet take over completely. Let the day end without echo. The red-whiskered bulbul sleeps inside its silence, and as it rests, the night makes room for another presence, another rhythm, another way of surrendering to sleep. And slowly, we continue onward. As silence settles more firmly into the night, time itself begins to stretch. Moments feel longer, movement slows, not because it must, but because there is no reason to hurry. From the complete quiet of the bulbul, the night now turns toward a bird whose nature has always been unhurried, the dove. By day, its presence is gentle, never abrupt, never demanding attention. Its call does not cut through the air. It drifts, soft, measured, each note separated by space, as if even sound moves at its pace. The dove carries calm wherever it goes. Its body is rounded, balanced, designed not for speed, but for steadiness. As evening arrives, there is no sudden change, no clear moment. When day ends and night begins, the dove simply continues at the same rhythm, allowing darkness to gather around it. It does not seek height. When it is time to sleep, it does not climb into exposed places. Instead, it chooses branches that are low, close to the earth, within reach of shadow, a place where the air feels heavier and movement above fades into distance. The dove settles on a branch that does not sway much. Stability matters more than view. Its feet grip gently without tension. There is no need to be ready to flee. The body lowers itself into rest, as if folding inward. Feathers lie flat. The neck shortens. The head turns slightly, finding a familiar angle. Breathing becomes slow, not shallow, not guarded. Each breath arrives with patience and leaves without urgency. The dove sleeps the way it lives, without drama, without resistance. There is no sharp line between awareness and rest. The two blend together like twilight blending into night. Muscles soften gradually. The heart maintains a calm, even rhythm. This bird does not carry the memory of speed into sleep. Its rest is grounded, anchored. The world above may move. Branches higher up may shift with wind. But here, close to the ground, everything feels slower, safer, contained. In this position, the dove remains vulnerable, yet untroubled. Its trust is quiet. It does not scan the dark. It does not listen for every sound. It allows the night to exist without question. This kind of rest is deeply human in its gentleness, a reminder that safety does not always come from distance or height, but from choosing what feels steady. If your body has been carrying too much effort, too much readiness, this is an invitation to lower yourself. You do not need the highest place. You do not need the widest view. You can choose what is close, what is familiar, what feels supportive. Like the dove, you can rest without holding tension in your muscles. You can let gravity do its work. You can let breath slow naturally. The dove remains on its low branch, unmoving, unconcerned, and as it sleeps, the night grows thicker, more settled, more complete. Another presence waits ahead, bringing yet another tone to this long, quiet descent into sleep. And the night, unchanged and patient, continues to carry us onward. As the night settles into its most stable form, nothing feels separate anymore. Silence is no longer empty. It is shared. From the grounded calm of the dove, the night gently widens, making space for a bird that never rests alone. The pigeon. By nature, the pigeon belongs to the group. Its life unfolds in patterns of togetherness, flying side by side, feeding close, resting within reach of another body. Even during the day, its movements are shaped by awareness of others. Distance is measured, rhythm is negotiated. At dusk, there is no confusion, no searching, no hesitation. The flock gathers, as it always does, drawn by familiarity rather than instruction. Ledges, low roofs, wide branches, places that can hold many bodies at once. The pigeons arrive in soft waves, one after another, until the space feels complete. There is comfort in this density. No single bird stands out. Individual shapes blend into a shared form. As darkness deepens, movement quiets. In unison, wings fold almost simultaneously. Feet settle, bodies align. The pigeon does not need to listen for danger alone. Awareness is distributed across the group. Because of this, rest comes easily. Breathing slows into a steady, repeating pattern, not shallow, not guarded. Each inhale mirrors another nearby. Each exhale returns to the same calm pace. This is a sleep built on rhythm, predictable, reliable. The pigeon's nervous system responds to consistency. The presence of others regulates its own body. Heartbeats find a shared tempo. Warmth circulates from one body to the next. There is no need for deep concealment, no need for height or isolation. Safety is created through closeness, through number, through repetition. The pigeon sleeps fully, not because it is unaware, but because it is supported Its rest is not dramatic. It does not sink suddenly. It eases into sleep the way a tide eases in and out, steady and inevitable. Time passes differently here, marked not by events, but by continuity. Nothing interrupts, nothing surprises. This is the kind of sleep that repairs quietly, that restores without effort. As you listen, you may feel your own breath responding, lengthening, finding a pattern that feels natural. You do not need to sleep deeply right away. You only need to become regular, to allow your body to follow a rhythm that already exists. Like the pigeon, you do not have to rest alone. Even in solitude, there is a sense of being accompanied by sound, by breath, by the steady movement of night itself. The flock remains still, held together by shared quiet. And with this final presence of the familiar birds, the night completes its first long descent. Ahead, the world will open to birds less seen, less known. But for now, everything is settled. Everything is enough. And the night continues to hold us gently. As the familiar quiet settles behind us, the night begins to feel deeper, not heavier, deeper. The open spaces of human presence fade gently away, and the world narrows into trees, into shadow, into layers of green that hold the dark instead of reflecting it. This is where the forest breathes differently. Here, sound does not travel far. Light does not linger. Everything is absorbed. Within this enclosed calm lives a bird whose voice is known for beauty, yet whose nights are defined by restraint. The nightingale. By day, its song moves through the forest with precision, clear, controlled, a voice shaped by listening as much as by calling. But when night arrives, the forest does not echo with that sound. The nightingale does not announce its rest. It withdraws quietly, without ceremony. As darkness thickens, the bird slips deeper into the understory, where branches tangle and leaves overlap. This is not a place of height. It is a place of cover, a space where the body is surrounded on all sides. The nightingale chooses a perch that is concealed, often close to the trunk of a tree where shadows remain stable. Here, wind is broken before it reaches the body. Temperature remains even. The forest holds its own warmth. As the bird settles, its feathers lift, not suddenly, gradually, layer by layer. Air is trapped between fine strands. The body becomes rounder, softer at the edges. This is not display. It is insulation, a quiet preparation for stillness. The nightingale does not sleep in full exposure. Its rest depends on enclosure, on being held by the forest itself. Breathing slows as the body expands outward, creating space. Inside softness, the heart maintains a gentle rhythm, steady and unforced. Unlike birds of open land, the nightingale does not need to remain partially alert. The forest absorbs disturbance before it reaches the perch. Branches filter sound, leaves diffuse movement. Here, sleep can be deeper. The bird releases more fully into rest. Muscles soften beneath the lifted feathers. Awareness dims, not abruptly, but as if wrapped in layers. The forest does not rush this process. Nothing pulls the nightingale forward or back. Time moves differently here, slower, less defined. In this sheltered stillness, the bird remains almost indistinguishable from its surroundings, not hidden through effort, but through belonging. As you listen, you may feel this change in environment, the sense of being enclosed, protected not by distance, but by depth. If rest has felt difficult when everything is exposed, this is another way. You do not need wide space. You do not need complete silence. You may rest more easily when you are gently surrounded. Like the nightingale, you can allow softness to build around you. Let your edges blur. Let warmth collect. Let the world hold you from all sides. The forest remains still. The nightingale sleeps within its layers. And as this deeper quiet settles, another forest bird waits nearby, resting in its own way under the same canopy of dark. And the night, now thick and enclosing, continues to guide us inward. As the forest grows quieter, stillness takes on weight, not heaviness, but presence. After the softness of feathers and the gentle enclosure of leaves, the night introduces a different kind of rest, one built on contact, on firmness. The woodpecker. By day, this bird is defined by impact, rhythm against resistance, beak meeting bark, again and again. Its life is shaped by vertical movement, up and down trunks, clinging, striking, listening through wood. But when night arrives, the woodpecker does not leave the trees behind. It stays. The trunk becomes not a surface to work against, but a place to rest. The woodpecker chooses a section of tree that feels solid, often the side away from wind, often a place already familiar from daylight hours. The body aligns vertically, tail feathers pressed gently against bark, feet grip firmly without strain. This posture is not effort. It is balance refined over generations. As the bird settles, movement ceases almost completely. There is no swaying, no shifting. The tree holds steady. The woodpecker leans forward, its head coming to rest against the surface of the wood, not pressing, simply touching. The beak rests where it once struck. The skull, built for force, now accepts stillness. This contact is grounding, a transfer of stability from tree to body. Breathing slows. In response, the chest rises and falls in small, even motions. The neck releases tension. The muscles that powered the day's work let go. Unlike birds that curl inward, the woodpecker rests in extension, supported externally. The tree becomes a quiet companion. Sound travels differently here. Vibrations move through wood. Before reaching the body, the forest absorbs what remains. This layered protection allows the bird to enter sleep without retreating into softness. Sleep here is upright, anchored, precise. The woodpecker does not disappear into its environment. It remains defined, yet unmoving. Awareness dims, but structure stays intact. This is a rest that trusts what is solid. If your own body finds comfort in something firm, a wall at your back, the floor beneath you, a steady surface, this kind of rest may feel familiar. You do not always need to sink. Sometimes you rest best by leaning, by allowing something stable to support you without collapsing into it. Like the woodpecker, you can let go while staying aligned. Let your thoughts quiet without drifting far. Let your breath slow without forcing depth. The tree remains unchanged. The bird remains in place. Together, they hold the night in still balance. And as this upright quiet settles fully, another forest presence waits deeper within, resting in yet another way. Under the same dark canopy, the night continues, layer by layer, leading us further inward. As the forest draws us further inward, the night lowers its center of gravity. Attention descends from trunks and vertical lines downward into shadowed ground. Here, movement is minimal. Presence is discreet. Nothing announces itself. This is where the pheasant belongs. By day, the pheasant moves carefully, aware of every opening. Its body carries weight, not built for hovering, but for measured steps. Through dense terrain, feathers blend with earth tones. Patterns dissolve into leaf litter and bark. The pheasant does not rush. It reads the ground as it moves. But when night arrives, the pheasant does not search for elevation. It does not climb away from danger. It settles beneath the forest canopy, low, hidden within layers already shaped by decay and growth. The bird chooses a place where the ground is uneven, where roots rise and fallen leaves gather, a place that breaks outlines, that interrupts shape. Here, visibility disappears. The pheasant lowers its body, tucking legs beneath, reducing height until it becomes part of the forest floor. There is no abrupt movement, no sound of settling. Everything happens in increments, too small to notice. The canopy above filters what remains of the world. Moonlight arrives in fragments. Sound dissolves before reaching the ground. Air is still here, held, protected by density. The pheasant's breathing finds a slow, even pace, not cautious, not alert, simply aligned with the stillness around it. This sleep is not visible. If you were to pass by, you would not know. A living body rested nearby. Concealment is complete, not because of effort, but because of harmony. The bird rests within the forest's own language. Muscles release their readiness. The body warms against earth that has stored the day's heat. There is comfort in this closeness, in being surrounded by what does not move. Unlike birds that sleep above the ground, the pheasant accepts the vulnerability of proximity, and in return, the forest gives full cover. This rest is deep because it is quiet, not silent, but absorbed. Time here does not stretch. It settles. Nothing pulls attention upward. Nothing interrupts. As you listen, you may feel the invitation to lower yourself as well, to rest closer to what is stable, to allow your awareness to sink rather than drift. You do not need to be seen. You do not need to be distinct. Like the pheasant, you can rest by becoming unobtrusive, by letting the world pass over you without noticing. The forest floor remains unchanged. The canopy holds. The pheasant sleeps, completely concealed. And deeper still, another forest life prepares for rest in its own way. As the night continues its quiet descent, as the forest settles into its deepest stillness, contrast begins to soften. The memory of movement fades. What once felt active now feels distant. Within this quiet, the night introduces a bird known for its liveliness, the laughing thrush. By morning, this bird is unmistakable. It moves quickly, alert to everything. Its calls overlap, rise and fall, filling the forest with energy. It hops low through undergrowth, pausing only briefly before moving again. The laughing thrush is a bird of interaction, of response, of shared awareness. But as the light drains away, none of this remains. There is no gradual dimming of activity, no half sound, no lingering call. When night arrives, the laughing thrush becomes completely quiet, as if a switch has been gently turned. The bird retreats into dense cover, often close to the ground, where branches and leaves interlock tightly. This is not a place of visibility. It is a place of absence. The laughing thrush does not perch where it can be seen. It does not choose a dramatic position. It selects a space where nothing draws attention. The body settles low, balanced and compact. Feathers relax without lifting. There is no need for insulation here. The forest itself holds the temperature steady. Breathing slows until it blends with the surrounding stillness. Not shallow, not deep, simply even. The bird's nervous system, so active by day, powers down fully, signals quiet, awareness retracts. This is not light rest. It is complete pause. The laughing thrush does not remain. Half awake, it does not listen. For every sound, the forest listens. For it, branches absorb vibration. Leaves soften movement. The ground holds weight. Here, sleep is uninterrupted. There is no need to perform, no need to respond. The bird that animated the morning allows itself to disappear into the night. As you listen, you may notice how natural this shift feels, how even the most active life knows when to stop. There is no loss. In this stillness, only restoration. You do not need to carry your alertness into the dark. You do not need to remain responsive when nothing is asked. Like the laughing thrush, you can let your energy settle completely. Let the day's motion fall away. Let the night be empty of demand. The forest remains quiet. The laughing thrush sleeps, fully withdrawn. And with this silence, the sheltered birds of the forest complete their long rest. Ahead, the night will open into other landscapes, other skies. But for now, everything is still. Everything is calm, and the night holds us without movement. As the forest completes its long pause, another rhythm quietly emerges, not louder, not faster, simply present. While most lives settle deeper into rest, the night reveals its watcher, the owl. This bird does not belong to daylight. Its body is shaped for darkness, for space where vision is limited and sound carries meaning. When the owl wakes, there is no announcement, no disturbance. The night remains intact. Its movements begin from stillness. The owl does not hurry. It waits, balanced, listening not with effort, but with availability. The world around it does not feel threatened by its presence. Branches do not tremble. Leaves do not scatter. Air remains undisturbed. When the owl takes flight, nothing reacts. Wings open wide, yet sound does not follow. Feathers absorb motion. Edges dissolve into silence. This is not absence of movement. It is movement without friction. The owl glides, as if carried by the night itself, passing between trees, through shadow, without leaving a trace. Its awareness is sharp, but contained, focused, yet calm. There is no rush. In this vigilance, no tension. The owl does not strain to control the night. It simply participates in it. While others sleep, the owl keeps watch, not as a guard, but as a presence that maintains balance. Its eyes adjust to the smallest changes. Its ears receive what the dark offers. Still, its body remains relaxed. This wakefulness does not disturb rest. It protects it. The owl perches, high and unseen, holding space without occupying it. The forest continues, its slow breathing. Nothing tightens, nothing retreats. There is comfort in knowing that awareness exists without intrusion. As you listen, you may feel how this vigilance changes the quality of the night. Rest does not require total unconsciousness. Sometimes sleep feels safer when something gentle remains awake. You do not need to be alert yourself. You are not responsible for holding the dark together. Like the forest, you are allowed to sleep deeply while another presence keeps quiet watch. Let your body release its need to monitor. Let thoughts loosen their grip. The owl moves above, without sound, without pressure. Its wakefulness does not pull you upward. It allows you to sink further down. The night remains whole. Sleep continues uninterrupted. And under this silent guardianship, the journey moves on, guided gently through darkness that feels safe enough to rest within. As the owl's silent vigilance continues above, the night reveals another guardian, not sharper, not more alert, but softer in presence. The barn owl. This bird carries a different kind of awareness. Its face is open, rounded, framed by pale feathers that soften its outline against the dark. When the barn owl looks out over the forest, there is no intensity that startles. Its gaze does not pierce. It rests, wide, receptive, as if the night itself is looking gently back at the world. The barn owl moves only when necessary. It does not patrol with urgency. It drifts through space, slowly, carefully, as though careful not to disturb what is already asleep. Wings open with ease. Air parts quietly. There is no sense of pursuit, only observation. Unlike other night birds, the barn owl does not carry the tension of hunting into its body. Its alertness is calm, balanced. Its presence does not compress the night, it expands it. When the barn owl perches, it chooses places that overlook without intruding. A low beam, a quiet branch, an open edge of shadow. From here, it watches, not for threat alone, but for continuity. The forest remains undisturbed. Beneath its attention, small movements occur and pass. Nothing escalates. Nothing sharpens. The barn owl's eyes, soft and luminous, receive the dark without resistance. They do not strain to make meaning. They allow the night to arrive fully as it is. This watching is not control. It is reassurance, a sense that nothing needs to be done, that rest can continue without interruption. While others sleep deeply, the barn owl holds a gentle awareness, like a nightlight left on low, not bright enough to wake, just enough to soothe. As you listen, you may feel how this presence changes your body. Shoulders soften, jaw loosens, breath becomes slower, more even. You are not being watched with judgment. You are being held in attention that expects nothing. You do not need to remain alert. You do not need to protect your rest. Like the forest, you are allowed to sleep while something kind keeps quiet watch. Let your awareness fade naturally. Let your thoughts drift without direction. The barn owl remains still, eyes open, posture relaxed. The night stays calm. Nothing presses in. Nothing pulls away. Under this gentle guardianship, sleep deepens without effort. And as the barn owl continues its quiet watch, another presence waits ahead, holding a different role. In the night, the journey moves on, unbroken, carried softly through darkness that feels safe enough to rest within. As the night continues its quiet watch, movement returns, not the kind that startles, not the kind that interrupts, a movement that belongs to darkness itself. The nighthawk, this bird does not announce its presence. It arrives as a change in air, a subtle shift between shadows. The nighthawk flies low, close to the earth, where night feels thick and sound dissolves quickly. Its wings move slowly, wide arcs through darkness, unhurried, deliberate. There is no urgency in this flight, no chase, no sudden turns. The nighthawk glides, circling softly as if tracing the shape of the night. Its body blends into the dim sky, edges blur, silhouette fades. If you were not listening gently, you might never notice it at all. This bird is awake while others sleep, yet it does not disturb rest. Its movement is designed to pass through without friction. Air parts, then closes again. Nothing is left behind. The nighthawk knows when to move and when to pause. After its slow flight, it rises, not abruptly, gradually, toward a higher branch, a stable perch that overlooks the dark without pressing into it. Here, the bird settles, body aligned, wings folded. Stillness returns. The nighthawk rests between moments of motion, not sinking fully into sleep, not remaining fully awake. Its awareness is light, balanced, a gentle suspension between activity and rest. From this high branch, the world feels distant. Movement below softens further. Sound thins. The night breathes evenly. This kind of rest does not require complete stopping. It allows readiness without tension. The nighthawk's chest rises and falls in a calm rhythm, breath steady, unforced. Feathers lie smooth, holding warmth without insulation. The bird trusts the temperature of the night, trusts the stillness it has already shaped through its flight. As you listen, you may notice how comforting it feels to know that movement can exist without disturbance, that not all activity pulls you outward. Some motion protects rest by keeping the night alive, watchful yet calm. You do not need to follow this movement. You do not need to stay alert. Like the ground below, you are allowed to remain still. While something gentle passes overhead, let your body stay heavy. Let your breath remain slow. The nighthawk rests above, holding a quiet balance between motion and pause. And as the night carries on, one final guardian waits ahead, bringing a deeper hush to this long vigil. The journey continues, soft and unbroken, through darkness that has learned how to move without waking. What it protects. As the night reaches its quietest vigilance, movement becomes almost imperceptible, not gone, but refined to its lightest form. This is where the nightjar appears, a bird so closely woven into darkness that it feels less like a creature and more like a function of the night itself. The nightjar does not claim space. It passes through it. Its wings are long, soft-edged, designed not to push air, but to slip through it. When it flies, there is no sound to follow, no pressure, no trace. The nightjar moves, as if the night has briefly decided to move with intention. Its flight is low, measured, drawn close to the ground and the open air just above it, not hunting aggressively, not circling insistently, simply observing while remaining part of the dark. This bird does not watch from above. It watches from within, eyes wide, yet relaxed, awareness open, but not tense. The nightjar's attention does not narrow. It spreads, taking in motion without following it, receiving sound without reacting. This observation does not disturb the night. It stabilizes it. When the nightjar rests, it does not seek prominence. It chooses branches that align with shadow, surfaces that break outline, places where body and bark become indistinguishable. The bird settles lengthwise, still, composed, as though it were always meant to be there. There is no visible transition between movement and rest. One simply becomes the other. Breathing is slow, barely lifting the chest. Feathers lie flat, not for warmth, but for invisibility. The nightjar sleeps lightly, yet deeply enough, awake enough to notice, asleep enough to remain undisturbed. This balance is not effort. It is design, a life shaped to guard the threshold between motion and stillness. As you listen, you may feel how this presence affects the night. There is no longer a sense of being watched, only a sense that nothing is missing, that awareness exists without pressure, that the dark is complete as it is. You do not need to follow the edges of sound. You do not need to track movement. Nothing here requires response. Like the nightjar, you can rest while remaining loosely aware, or you can let awareness fade entirely. Both are allowed. The night does not demand a specific state. It only offers continuity. The nightjar remains almost unseen, almost unremembered, holding the final quiet of this vigil. And with this last guardian, The night releases its watchfulness. There is nothing more to monitor, nothing more to hold together. The darkness no longer moves. It rests, and you are free to rest within it. As the night releases its final watch, the world opens outward, not suddenly, not brightly, but wide. The forest dissolves into distance, and the horizon takes its place. Here, nothing encloses, everything carries. The ocean, breathing in long cycles, exhaling without effort. This is where the seabirds rest. The albatross, a bird shaped by wind and water, by journeys that do not end at land. For the albatross, sleep does not require still ground. It does not seek shelter from movement. It accepts it. As night deepens over the sea, the albatross settles onto the surface of the water, not landing, but arriving. Its body lowers gently, buoyed without resistance. Wings fold slowly, not tightly, allowing balance to remain fluid. The ocean receives the bird's weight and distributes it. Nothing presses, nothing sinks. The albatross floats. The surface beneath is never still, yet never abrupt. Small waves pass, lifting, lowering, in a rhythm older than memory. The bird does not fight this motion. It allows itself to be carried. Each swell rocks the body a fraction of an inch, enough to soothe, enough to signal safety. Breathing aligns with the sea's pace. Long, even, unforced, the albatross sleeps while moving, not drifting away, but remaining exactly where it needs to be. Awareness softens, but does not disappear. One eye may rest more deeply than the other, a gentle vigilance that does not disturb the body's surrender. This is a sleep built on trust, trust in buoyancy, trust in rhythm, trust that nothing sudden will interrupt the flow. The ocean holds without gripping. It supports without demanding attention. Sound here is distant. Waves do not crash. They murmur, a low, repeating hush that smooths thought into simplicity. There are no edges to follow, no corners to check, only motion that never accelerates. As you listen, you may feel how different this rest is. There is no need to brace, no need to anchor. You are allowed to float, to let the night do the holding. Like the albatross, you do not need to understand the sea, to trust it. You only need to allow yourself to be carried. Thoughts may rise like small swells, then pass without consequence. Nothing catches, nothing pulls. The body learns the rhythm by feeling it. Sleep here is not a destination, it is a current, and as the albatross rests upon it, another seabird waits nearby, sleeping in a different way, under the same slow-moving sky. The ocean continues, steady and vast, guiding us further into rest that moves without effort. As the ocean's motion becomes less noticeable, the night finds a place to settle. The water no longer lifts. It releases. The shoreline appears as a quiet threshold between movement and stillness. This is where the pelicans rest. These birds carry the weight of the sea in their bodies. Broad wings, solid frames, movements shaped by effort and endurance. When evening arrives, they do not linger in the air. They come down together, not hurried, not scattered. A slow gathering along the sand. The pelicans choose open beaches wide enough to hold many bodies. Without crowding, they arrange themselves side by side, close enough to share warmth, far enough to remain comfortable. There is familiarity in this spacing, no negotiation, no adjustment. Each bird knows where it belongs. As darkness settles, movement stops. Wings fold completely, necks draw in, heavy bodies lower onto the sand. The ground accepts their weight without resistance. Here, nothing rocks, nothing shifts. The pelican's breathing slows deeply, long pauses between breaths, a rhythm that belongs to deep rest. This is not light sleep. It is not interrupted. The pelican enters a state of stillness that reaches into the body's core. Muscles release. They're holding. The day's effort drops away. Awareness dims without hesitation. Around them, the sea continues its distant work. Waves arrive softly, then retreat. Their sound is low, far enough away to feel safe. The sand holds the warmth of the day, returning it slowly through the night. Bodies remain warm, stable, unmoving. In the group, sleep deepens further. Each bird's rest supports the next. A collective stillness forms, thick, unbroken. No one watches. No one listens closely. The night requires no guardians here. Everything is settled. This is sleep that does not dream, sleep that restores without imagery. A complete pause. As you listen, you may feel your own body responding, becoming heavier, more grounded. There is nothing to track anymore, nothing to float upon. You have arrived at the place where movement ends. Like the pelicans, you are allowed to rest deeply in company. Even if you are alone, there is a sense of shared quiet. The world is resting with you. Breath slows on its own. Muscles soften without instruction. The night no longer unfolds forward. It settles downward. The pelicans sleep, completely still, held by sand, surrounded by darkness, unaware of passing time. And here, by the sea, the long journey through birds and night comes to rest. Nothing more follows. Nothing needs to. Sleep is already here. As the shoreline fades into darkness, the night lifts its gaze upward, not suddenly, not forcefully, but with intention. The sea remains below, settled and quiet, while above it, the sky opens into distance. This is where the cranes travel. Their lives are shaped by long horizons, by movement that spans countries, seasons, years. The crane does not fly alone. It moves as part of a line, one following another, each wing beat supporting the next. During migration, the sky becomes a shared path. Effort is distributed. No single bird carries the journey alone. As night approaches, the formation holds. The line remains steady, cutting softly through the dark air. There is rhythm here, predictable, reassuring. Wings rise and fall in measured timing. The sound is minimal, more suggestion than presence. The cranes know when to continue and when to descend. As darkness deepens, they begin to look for a place to stop. Wetlands, shallow fields, open ground that offers space and visibility. When they land, it is unhurried. One by one, the line dissolves into still bodies. Long legs fold, tall forms lower. The earth receives them gently. Here, sleep does not arrive all at once. The cranes remain standing, heads tucked slightly, bodies aligned, close enough to feel one another's presence. Some rest more deeply, others remain lightly aware. Roles shift without discussion. The group breathes together. Rest is shared. This is a sleep built on trust in pattern. Trust that movement will resume when it is time. Trust that rest can happen even in unfamiliar places. The crane does not fear temporary ground. It understands that rest is not an ending, but a pause within a larger flow. As you listen, you may feel this sense of ordered rest, the relief of knowing that you do not need to complete everything before you sleep. That life can continue even if you stop. Like the cranes, you are allowed to rest mid-journey. You do not need to reach a final destination to be worthy of sleep. You can pause where you are. Let your thoughts line up gently instead of scattering. Let your breath find a steady rhythm. Above, the sky remains vast. Below, the ground is sufficient. The cranes stand quietly, resting together, held between earth and the memory of flight. And as they sleep, another migratory bird waits further along the path, resting in a different way under the same wide sky. The journey continues, not forward, but inward, carried by rhythm that does not hurry. As the journey continues beneath the wide sky, movement becomes disciplined, not rushed, not loose, measured. This is how the wild geese travel. Their lives follow the turning of seasons, guided by temperature, light, and memory carried in the body. The geese do not wander. They migrate with precision. Each year, the same roots return, etched deeply into instinct. When they fly, they form lines in the sky, familiar shapes against moving air. Each bird holds its place. Each position matters. The rhythm of wings is steady, unbroken. There is no excess motion, nothing wasted. For the wild goose, rest is not separate from travel. It is woven into it. During long migrations, sleep arrives in brief intervals, moments, not hours. The geese do not stop completely. They pause from within motion, a few seconds, sometimes less. One part of the brain rests while the other keeps the body aligned. Awareness alternates quietly. Order is preserved. The flock continues forward without collapse. This sleep is not deep, but it is sufficient. It arrives regularly, like a steady pulse. Short, even, reliable. The wild goose trusts this pattern, trusts that rest, when repeated, does not need to be long, only consistent. There is no anxiety in this way of sleeping, no urgency. The body knows exactly when to let go and when to return. As night stretches over the migratory path, the geese maintain formation. Some lower slightly, some rise. The group breathes together, even while airborne. Sleep moves through the flock like a quiet signal, passed gently, without disruption. This is a rest that protects motion, a pause that keeps the journey intact. As you listen, you may notice how calming this rhythm feels. There is no pressure to fall asleep all at once, no demand for depth. Rest can come in small, regular portions. Like the wild geese, you are allowed to rest briefly, then rest again. You do not need to disappear, to recover. You only need to be consistent. Let your breath settle into a gentle cadence. In, out, nothing more. Thoughts can arrive, then leave, without pulling you along. Above, the sky remains open. Below, the land moves quietly past. The wild geese continue their long migration, carried by rhythm rather than force. And as they move through the night, another bird waits ahead, bringing the final shift from patterned rest into pure release. The journey is nearing its quiet conclusion. As the final distance opens above the earth, sleep becomes lighter than movement. The ground is far below now, so far that it no longer calls for attention. Only sky remains. This is where some migrating birds rest without stopping. They sleep while flying, high in the night air, where darkness thins and stars feel close. Their wings continue, a steady, familiar motion. There is no struggle here, no effort added. Flight has become automatic. The body knows what to do. The wind supports, the air holds. In this height, the bird allows half of its mind to rest, not all at once, not completely. One hemisphere sleeps, drifting into softness, while the other remains aware, keeping direction, balance, altitude. Awareness alternates, slowly, like breath, passing from one side to the other. There is no moment of full unconsciousness and no tension. In this partial waking, the bird does not fear this kind of sleep. It trusts the division. It trusts that rest does not need to be total, to be real. Wings continue their gentle rhythm, up, down, even, unbroken. The night air is cool, clean, empty of interruption. Sound does not travel here. Nothing calls, nothing demands response. This sleep is light, but it is continuous, like thin cloud stretching across the sky, never thick, never heavy, yet always present. The bird drifts within the state, neither fully awake nor fully asleep. Thought does not form, memory does not pull, only sensation remains. Wind, lift, forward motion. Time loses its edges. There is no beginning or end to this rest, only continuation. As you listen, you may feel your own awareness becoming lighter, not disappearing, just loosening. You do not need to sink. You do not need to hold on. You are allowed to hover between states. Like these birds, you can rest without falling asleep all at once. Let one part of you remain gently aware. Let the rest float freely. Breath moves without instruction. In, out, soft, even. Nothing needs to deepen further. Nothing needs to finish. This is the lightest sleep, the kind that feels like being carried by air itself. High above the world, the migrating birds continue, resting as they move, moving as they rest. And here, at the highest point of the night, there is nothing left to follow, nothing left to watch. Sleep does not arrive. It simply continues, like the sky. Now, everything has found its place, not through effort, not through intention, simply by arriving where it naturally belongs. The birds are asleep, all of them, those of the forest, held in layers of leaves and shadow, those of the sea, settled into sand and slow water, those of the sky, resting within motion, so light it no longer feels like movement. Nothing is watching anymore. Nothing is listening closely. There is no vigilance left to maintain. The night does not need protection. It has become complete on its own. The forest has gone quiet, not silent, but settled. Branches no longer shift with meaning. Sounds dissolve before becoming signals. The ground holds without response. The sea has softened. Waves no longer arrive with definition. They blend into one another, a continuous motion without edges. The water knows how to carry rest. The sky has thinned. Stars remain, but they do not ask. to be noticed. Darkness stretches without direction. Up and down lose distinction. There is no longer a sense of journey, only presence. All rhythms have slowed to their simplest form. Breath, weight, warmth. Nothing more is required. There is nothing you need to remember from this night, nothing to carry forward. The stories have done what they needed to do. They have faded. You do not need to hold on to them. You do not need to follow any sound or image. They are already leaving on their own. There is no next step, no instruction, no moment you are waiting for. Everything that could settle has settled. Everything that could soften has softened. And now there is only rest. Not the kind you perform, not the kind you aim for, but the kind that happens when nothing interrupts. If thoughts appear, they can drift without shape. If awareness remains, it can rest without focus. There is no need to go anywhere else. This is already enough. The night does not end here. It continues without narration, without guidance, without sound that needs following. The voice grows quieter because it is no longer needed. The pace slows because nothing is moving forward. There is no closing, no boundary, only a gentle absence of direction. And within that absence, sleep deepens on its own.